I think we're pretty good right now. Welcome. This is Sports Recruits 101. Tonight, I'm gonna talk through how to set up your Sport Recruit account. So hopefully you guys are able to take some great information out of this webinar tonight. So just a quick intro. My name is Mia Hall. I'm a customer success specialist here at Sports Recruits. A little background on me. I played lacrosse collegiately a very long time ago at Millersville University. And I am also a former Division II women's lacrosse head coach. I was a head coach for over 10 years. In addition to that, I've run my own lacrosse recruiting club for the past 7 years. So I'm excited to be with you here tonight to walk you through Sports Recruits 101. Also, for everyone here, this webinar is being recorded. So, don't worry about feverishly trying to take a bunch of notes. You will receive an emailed copy of this webinar within 24 to 48 hours after the completion of this webinar. So again, don't worry about taking a whole bunch of notes. And definitely, make sure you utilize the chat feature if you have any questions throughout the presentation. I'll do my best to try and get through as many questions as we have in the allotted time by the end of this webinar. So let's get started. So to give you a quick look at the agenda for tonight, first, I'm going to talk about the onboarding process, and then I'm going to talk about building your athlete profile, what that looks like. We'll go through the difference between committed and uncommitted student athletes on the platform. And then lastly, how to maximize your membership, go through some key features within the platform. And then just to round it out at the end of the session, I will take some time to answer any questions that you guys may have throughout this webinar. And then again, just to kind of reiterate, if you guys have questions throughout the webinar, definitely drop them into the chat feature. And if I'm unable to get to your question tonight, I will be able to follow back up with an email to you tomorrow to answer those questions as well. So with that being said, let's definitely get started. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is the onboarding process. So upon signing up for a membership, an email was sent to the player email on the account. That email is going to look just like the one here with a button that reads activate your account. You're going to click that button. It's going to take you through the onboarding process. There's going to be an onboarding process for both the player email on the account and also the parent email listed on the account as well. If for any reason you can't find your onboarding email, just shoot us an email at help@sportsrecruits.com and we'll be able to send you your onboarding information manually. So after you do that, step one is going to be to identify yourself as either an athlete or a parent. Each person, again, that has their email linked to the account is going to go through their own onboarding process. So it's going to definitely be different for a parent and an athlete. Step two is going to be to then just confirm some personal information. In this section, if you're the player, it's going to prompt you to put in your grad year, your phone number, and your email. Once you hit continue, you'll then be prompted to set up a password, and then you're going to be onboarded. So then, it's a pretty quick process to get yourself onboarded. The next thing I'm definitely going to talk about is how you can build out your student athlete profile. So when you're in your account, you're going to navigate to the profile tab at the top right-hand corner of your account. A sidebar is going to appear on the left-hand side. And from there, that's when you're going to start inputting your information. Having a completed profile, guys, is super important because it provides college coaches with all the information that they're going to need to evaluate you as a student and as an athlete. So again, it's going to be very important that you fill out as much information as you can in this section. Also, pro tip, make sure that when you're filling out each one of the second sections, whether it's the academic, the athletic section, make sure you hit save after editing each section of that profile. You really should think about, again, completing your profile and having yourself think about it as you're building your recruiting resume. Again, I'm going to strongly advise you fill out your profile as completely as possible. The entire process to fill out your profile is going to take no more than 10 minutes. And just by doing that, it makes college coaches much more likely to message you. As you can see here on the screen, college coaches are 3 times more likely to respond to you if you have a completed and filled out profile. I would say the 3 most important areas of your profile to complete are going to be to upload a profile picture. And when you do that, definitely keep in mind, college coaches actually prefer a headshot versus an action shot of you. So just one thing to keep in mind when you're doing that. The next thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to make sure that you add a video to your profile, whether it's a highlight reel or even full games. And then lastly, I would definitely recommend, completing as much of your academic information as possible. Another thing that you'll want to make sure that you complete is to make sure that your profile is blue check verified. So a verified account, guys, serves as an indicator to a college coach that you are a real student athlete and you're committed to playing at the next level. So again, you'll want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to make sure that you're getting your profile verified. So to become verified, you again want to make sure you have your profile picture uploaded, you have your grad year entered, and also your position entered on your profile. Once you've done those 3 things, then you'll have a blue check next to your name. And for college coaches, when they're going through the platform, they are looking for verified accounts. So verified accounts are going to receive 2 times more profile views from a college coach versus a non-verified account. So again, you definitely want to make sure that you are doing those 3 things to get that blue check mark next to your picture. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is you'll also want to make sure, I touched upon this a little bit before, but you want to make sure that you have video uploaded to your account. Student athletes on the platform can upload as much video to their profile as possible. You have an unlimited amount. By uploading video to your account, you also are able to receive analytics around the footage that you've uploaded. So you can get alerted via text or email anytime a college coach is viewing one of your videos. College coaches are also 11 times more likely to send a message to a student athlete on the platform that has a video versus a student athlete who doesn't have a video. And then another pro tip, and I'll touch upon this in the next slide, but when you are uploading film, you want to make sure that you're at least designating one of the videos that you've uploaded to your account as your featured video. And again, I'm going to talk about that more in this next slide. So let me, elaborate on this featured video. So this featured video should either be one of your most recent films or your best highlight reel or your most recent game available. This is because that featured video, when you select it, is going to be the first video that college coaches see when they come to your profile. To make a video featured, you'll first need to just navigate to that video that you've uploaded in your video library. And then once you find the video, you'll search for the little blue gear icon that's going to be at the bottom left side of that specific video. Once you hit that blue gear icon, a drop-down menu is going to appear and it's going to say make featured video. Once you select that, that's how you then can designate a video to be in that spot. Another, I think, important tip too for you guys, when you do upload a video, that video is not automatically just going to drop into your account or your profile section. It is going to drop into your video library section. So you'll want to navigate to that section of the platform. Once you find that video that you've recently uploaded, you'll want to make sure that you turn that video on and make it visible to college coaches. You'll be able to do that. There's a little button on the bottom left corner, or I'm sorry, the bottom right corner. It may be gray. You're just going to click it and toggle it over to green if you, again, want that video to be visible to college coaches. If you take a look at this athlete's video library that we have on the slide here, you'll notice that they have 3 videos uploaded to their account, and currently all 3 are visible on their profile. And then again, just remember, guys, college coaches are 11 times more likely to message you if you have visible video on your profile. So upload as many videos as you need and want onto your account, make them visible, and definitely tip the odds in your favor with, having college coaches come and evaluate you. Once you finish building out your athlete profile, so, again, that means you uploaded your profile picture, you have your grad year, your position, you filled out as much academic and personal information as possible. And then lastly, uploaded video. You can then click on the preview tab under the profile section, and you'll be able to see exactly what college coaches will see when they come to your account and view it. I think that's a great little tip for you guys. So if you ever wonder, what does what can college coaches see, or what does it look like? Go to your profile tab and then hit that preview screen. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, and the next thing we have on our agenda is, talking to you guys about the differences between committed versus uncommitted student athletes on our platform. So when we look at the data around committed versus uncommitted athletes on our platform, we know that committed athletes have a very strong online presence. That's one thing that really sets them apart. So to have a strong online presence, what that means is making sure your profile is complete, up to date, and that you're providing college coaches with as much academic and athletic information as possible so that they can evaluate you again as a student and as an athlete. As you can see by the charts here, just by simply uploading a transcript, a video, adding a profile picture, you drastically are going to increase your chances of receiving attention from a college coach. The second thing that stands out amongst committed versus uncommitted student athletes is outreach. 80% of committed student athletes on our platform reach out and contacted or emailed more than 10 schools. So with that being said, definitely make sure you're casting a wide net and reaching out to as many schools as possible that you think are going to be a good fit for you. Be proactive in that. And then just another graph here about outreach and committed versus uncommitted student athletes. And I think this chart really speaks for itself. Basically, what it's showing is that the more schools that you contact, the more exposure you're going to receive. Again, based on our research, 80% of committed athletes contacted more than 10 schools. So, be proactive. Your outreach is absolutely essential in this process. There is clearly a direct correlation between the more schools that you contact, the more views that you get, the more chances you're getting in front of the right people, and then hopefully ending this process with a commitment. Okay, so the next part of our webinar is I'm going to talk about how you can make the most of your account and talk through some of the great features that we have on this platform. So the first feature that you should definitely be aware of is our free highlight reel editor. Here you're going to be able to use any film that's in your video library, clip out your best plays, and then easily publish this highlight reel to your profile. it's a great way for you to, quickly get film up onto your account as fast as possible, especially after a game or an event. These published highlight reels that you're making are also able to be downloaded, and they can also be sent to college coaches as links. Then the next feature I'm going to talk about, I'm going to dive into our advanced school search feature. So to get here, when you log in, you're going to navigate to our schools tab at the top of your account. Here you'll be able to search for any school in the country. I think what's great too is that you can easily filter what schools you're interested in by certain criteria. So you can search and filter them by region, by school size, by division, academics. And then once you've applied those filters, it's going to compile a list that are meeting your criteria. When you do find a school that you like, make sure that you're favoriting them by clicking that little heart icon that's going to be next to each of the schools' names. When you are doing, any school search and any filters that way, I think what's really important is, when you're going through each of the schools, that you definitely do your research, right? When that list of schools are, compiled after you've applied those filters, definitely take time to click into each one of the schools. And sorry, there's some questions coming in, so I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, great. Keep throwing questions in the Q&A, guys. That's awesome. I will definitely get to them at the end here for sure. Here. So yeah, keep putting them in there. But again, I just want to make sure you guys could hear me and that, the slides weren't malfunctioning. Okay, great. So when you are doing your school search and you're, doing research, definitely take time to click into the school's landing page. These landing pages, guys, are going to give you a wealth of information from, the school's size, their selectivity. You can even see, obviously the majors that they offer, tuition, but you can even see other athletes that have committed to that school and to that program in these schools' landing pages. When you do, again, you've done your research, you find a school maybe that you haven't heard of before, but that fits your criteria, again, go ahead and favorite it. As a club director, I cannot recommend the school search tool enough. I just think it's such a great way to help student athletes discover and find schools that they may never have been familiar with. Another tip I'm going to give you guys, definitely you want to make sure you are favoriting at least 25 to 30 schools. Why is that important? We've talked about this a lot before, but as you can see, committed SportsRecruit athletes on our platform are favoriting an average of 28 schools. So definitely, again, cast a wide net. Make sure you're keeping an open mind through this process. I think too, remember, all these tools on the platform were built to be fluid. We know the recruiting process is not something, that just happens overnight. So again, approach the recruiting process with an open mind, and then definitely be willing to adjust, but use all these tools and features that you have at your disposal within the platform. After you've favorited your schools, guys, you can then organize your favorites list, which I think is pretty cool as well. So once you have those 25 to 30 schools, hopefully you'll be able to organize them and sort them in the favorite section of your schools tab. You'll be able to, rank them based on mutual interest between you and the program. You could organize them based off of if they're a fit school for you, or a reach school, or a safety school. You can also sort schools based on the last contact that you had with them. And it also helps you kind of keep track of the schools that you haven't reached out to in a while. So that's another great way to organize. And then one last way you can organize that I want to talk about is you can always track your progress with a particular school by using our milestone feature. This feature is great because I think it simplifies the recruiting process down into like 6 easy steps. It's also another great way to kind of visualize where you're at in the process with each particular school, that hopefully ends in a commitment to the school that you're, most interested in. The next thing I'm going to talk about within the platform is how you can best utilize the activity feed. So the activity feed, guys, is your home base. This is where you're going to see all interactions that are happening between you and college coaches. On the left of your activity feed, you'll see your target schools list. You'll see your favorited schools, and then you'll also see your college view counts. Also from the activity feed and that list, if you ever wanted to quickly draft a message to any of the schools on your favorites list, you can do so by just clicking that little blue arrow icon next to their name. It's going to take you right to the messaging center, which is a great segue because that's the next feature I'm going to talk about here. The next feature is our messaging feature. That's what you're seeing here. It's definitely the most important tool on our platform by far. Every college coach in the country is in our database. So sending a message is super quick, super easy. No more having to look up, individuals' email addresses. They are all right there. So the way it works is when you open up a message in the compose, you're simply in the to section, just going to type in the school that you want to contact through the platform. And then all the college coach emails within that program are going to, be in a drop down. You're simply going to hit the college coaches within that program that you want to send that message to, and then construct your email as you normally would. When a college coach replies to your email through the messaging system, it's going to go right back to your inbox within the messaging tab here. The best part about the messaging system is that embedded in every single email that you send through our messaging system is your specific SportRecruit URL link. So every time a college coach gets an email from you, they can then simply just click on that link and go directly to your SportRecruit profile to learn even more about you, which is really easy for the college coaches as well. When they do that, that also triggers a view to your account. So that also is a great way for you to have a little bit more transparency into which college coaches are coming to your account and viewing your information. And then again, guys, if you ever wonder what your profile looks like to a college coach, you're going to be able to look at that by going to the profile tab and then going under the preview screen. And that's exactly what they're seeing. When you guys are getting notifications that a college has viewed, your video or your profile or a transcript, we get asked a ton, like what should we do after we receive a notification? Like, how do you approach that? So what I've done in this slide is I've broken down some like do's and don'ts that you should kind of think about when you are receiving these view notifications. So let's go through the do's first, right? So when you do get a view notification, we want you guys to ask yourself a number of questions prior to, messaging that coach back. First is, am I interested in this program? Have I spoken to this coach before? Is this program at the same level academically, athletically as the other programs that I'm interested in? This is really important too. If they viewed your profile or a video during an event, wait until after the entire event is over to follow up. And I would even say like 24 to 48 hours after that event has completed to follow back up with them. I also think it's important too, when you're getting view notifications, lean on advocates around you, like club coaches, high school coaches, other people that understand where you're at in the recruiting process to help you guys determine whether or not you think you should even follow up with that coach. Next, let's talk about the don'ts when you are receiving view notifications. Definitely don't, send an email back and messaging the coaches saying, I saw you viewed my profile right away. Like, don't do that. Also, when you are sending a message, whether it's at 24 to 48 hours after the event has completed, don't include, I saw you viewed my profile in that initial email to them. If you've never sent an email to that program who viewed your profile, you should send an introductory email to them. If you have maybe reached out before to that program and had some like prior email conversations with them, I think the best thing for you guys to do to follow up after a view notification would be to just send another email with maybe new information that that program may not have had about you, whether it's a new highlight reel or an upcoming, tournament schedule that you'll be playing in. That's going to be, I think, the best approach when you're sending that email after that view notification. And then lastly, this is a tip for parents. If you're at an event and you see a view notification come through, please never go up to a college coach on that sideline and say like, hey, I just saw that you viewed Mia's account. There's different roles between Division 1, 2, and 3 college coaches and what they can do during a working recruiting event. Also, so they may not be able to speak with you. Also, if you don't have like a really solid, stellar relationship with them prior to that event, it's probably just not a good idea to approach them. Let them work. And again, all communication really should be, and what college coaches want is to be getting communications from the student athlete themselves and not from parents. So just some tips on when you are receiving these view notifications on your profile. So hopefully you found those pretty valuable. Another feature, excuse me, that I think you'll definitely want to utilize within the platform is our knowledge base, which is located in our help section of our SportsRecruit website. So our knowledge base is a collection of how-to articles. Most of these articles also contain videos about the platform, how it works, and how certain features work. So if you've ever, run into any issues while you're using your account or any trouble with a feature, you want to learn more about a certain feature, quickly go to that knowledge base center and, see if you can pull up some more information that way. In addition to our knowledge base articles, you'll also definitely want to check out the other resources that we have available for student athletes and club staff. So the first resource is our recruiting guide. This guide is going to tell you pretty much everything and anything that you need to do to get yourself recruited. The next thing that you'll want to check out is our webinars. So you can attend monthly webinars, just like the one here, to learn more about the platform or any other topics about the recruiting process. All of our webinars that we host provide in-depth information about basically every area of the recruiting process. Things like building a target list of schools, the importance of messaging college coaches, and again, like other important topics. So definitely check out those webinars. And then the last resource that you guys have available to you is our SR blog. So this is a great database that we keep updated with all the latest, information about just recruiting in general, but also all the latest NCAA rules. So, another really valuable place for you guys to get information as you are going through this process. And then again, one last tidbit. You're going to be able to view all past webinars or register for future ones right from your SportsRecruit account. So when you are logged in, you're just going to navigate over to the More tab on the right-hand side. When you click on that, you'll see the option to click on webinars, and that's going to take you directly to our webinar landing page. And just since we're kind of on that topic, and I've seen some questions come through already about, recruiting visits, recruiting rules. Again, I'm going to plug that we have webinars that we have coming up or that we've hosted in the past couple months that cover all of those topics. So if you want more of an in-depth information session on specific topics, definitely check out the webinar landing page to see if you can register for upcoming webinars or, review an old one that we did a couple weeks ago. And I am going to plug August 23rd, we have our Importance of September 1st webinar coming up. So if you are a 2025 student athlete, that is a fantastic webinar for you to register for. It's very highly and it's super well attended, but lots of great information on just the topic of September 1st and what that means for certain sports and 2025 graduates. So yeah, so that's a little bit, as much as I can give you on our webinars tab there. That kind of completes our overview of Sports Recruits 101 for right now. I've seen a bunch of questions being dropped in, so I'm gonna head into our Q&A section of tonight's webinar. Give me a chance here, let me see. Okay, so someone asked, what kind of videos can be uploaded? Skill videos, highlight reels, full game videos. Basically, any types of videos can be uploaded into your profile, and any videos that you think are going to be useful for college coaches to take a look at. You're also able to embed, if you have some highlight reels off of Huddle or YouTube, you're also able to embed those links into your SportRecruit profile as well. So all types of videos you can upload, and again, full length games you can upload as well. Can schools see that we like them? We get this question quite a bit. So if you favorite a school, that school, if they're searching through, will be able to see that you favorited them, but they will not be able to see any of the other schools that you favorited. So that's a good question. They can only see if you favorited them, just to kind of answer that question. Is it okay if you have a highlight reel with different teams? Absolutely. I mean, you want to highlight your best plays, and college coaches, they don't care where that footage is coming from. I think one thing I would definitely recommend is making sure that your highlight reel is no more than 2 to 3 minutes long. Anything after that, like college coaches, again, I was one for 10 years, like we can see what we need to see, honestly, within the first 2-3 minutes. Anything longer than that is just kind of overkill. But yeah, you can compile clips from a number of different teams and different film sources. And the college coaches see their rank if you have that you've assigned to a school. College coaches can't see the rank. They can, again, only see if you've favorited their school. That's a great question. You guys are asking amazing questions. I think we have time for a couple more. How often should a student athlete reach out to coaches? What's appropriate and what is too much? We have a webinar on this. It's the importance of college coaching, messaging college coaches. Definitely check that out. But again, what we recommend is that you reach out to a college coach anytime you have new information to share. So, if you are really just starting this process, and you want to formally introduce yourself to that college staff, you're going to send an intro email. Okay. After you send that intro email, again, the next step would be to follow back up with that coaching staff, probably either, again, anytime you have new information that you want to provide to them, or maybe 2 to 3 weeks later, especially if you're during your summer recruiting season and you have a lot of tournaments coming up. If you have a game and you want to send them your schedule, you can do that. But I think you definitely don't want to be bombarding them every single day, every single week, if you're not giving them new information. It's a good question. And again, that webinar is fantastic. It really goes through a lot of different areas of messaging college coaches. I apologize. You guys have great questions, but this is all the time that I have for tonight. If I wasn't able to answer your question, you can always send me an email at help@sportsrecruits.com. I'll be able to follow back up with you that way as well. Again, guys, this webinar was recorded. And if you registered for this event, you're going to receive a copy of it 48 hours after tonight. I can't plug our Importance of September 1st webinar enough. So definitely check out that webinar coming up, register for that one, and hopefully we see you guys in a future webinar. And thank you again for joining me tonight. Take care.